Right, Containment Gearbox last Friday at Digi. Was it any good? Honestly, yeah, I had a proper laugh. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. And I think what made it so good is it just felt completely different to a standard kind of containment night. It was chaos, it was funny, it was just loads of random shit at different times, and yeah, I think I spent half the night just solely laughing. But, and there is a but, I did realise that I don't think that genre is fully for me. There's parts of it that I enjoy, but there's still parts of it that, yeah, I just don't think that's fully my thing. And I think I realised that halfway through the night. There were moments that, yeah, I'll get into it a little bit later. So this was actually my first ever Gearbox style event. Like I say, hosted at Digi. I think Digi was definitely the perfect venue for that event. I think if you were to have it at like an NX or a Worldies, it just wouldn't have worked. Worldies would have been too small. It suits the super sweaty industrial type events, and NX I think would have just probably it just wouldn't have worked. I don't know. Digi was perfect, and for me, Digi's still one of the best venues in Newcastle. Absolutely love that venue. Production is always sick. Lighting is always insane. The layout's great. And yeah, when it comes to the security, bar, toilets, there's never ever really any issues there. So yeah, like I said, up there for one of the best venues and the best venue for that event. Tickets wise, I'm sure it was only like 20, £25 as well. So in terms of fucking value for money, you actually can't go wrong when it comes to the prices of that, because the event as a whole and that lineup was insane for that price. So yeah, I know it's one thing that Containment are massive on, is making sure to try and keep ticket prices low as possible, make sure as many people can get there, and yeah, I think that price was very fucking fair for what you got. Now let's talk about sets. Webo opening, fuck me, I don't think I've ever seen an opening like that with that much energy before. Normally, for an opening, it takes a little while and I kind of like get into the groove of things, and the purpose is to like slowly kind of build your way up. But literally from the off, the energy in that room was fucking unbelievable. So hats off to Webo, because yeah, that bloke can spin a deck. Then we had Circo. We only had one half of the duo this time around, but you couldn't feel it, to be honest. He still absolutely shelled it. Still felt like a Circo set. Proper energy, loads of fun, kind of what you'd expect from them. Circo are just fucking Circo. I think everyone can back me in saying that them guys never ever miss. And we had Pomberjack, and I'm not just saying this because we interviewed him last night, and I know him quite well now, but that was honestly probably one of my favourite sets of the night. I think like he's just fucking hilarious, isn't he? He's such a funny, humble guy, and I think throughout his entire set you could feel his personality through the music, through the tracks that he was playing. He took you on a journey. It was funny, it was engaging, it was a bit chaotic at times, and yeah, just like entertaining, but still brought in his like raw hard style sound as well. Played a lot of his own tracks that when he spoke last night, he goes into a lot of detail in, and I think you could feel that throughout his set. And I don't know if it's his track or not, but that fucking Thomas the Tank Engine remix, like, what was that? Because everyone at that moment just like stopped, looked at each other, and was like, one, what the fuck is going on, and like, two, how is this even a thing? So yeah, that was probably one of my highlights of the entire night, that moment, because yeah, it was just mad. Speaking of crazy moments as well, though, the whole thing with the DJs jumping on the microphone, I thought that was off it. Like, that was such a crazy experience. I think because obviously a lot of the sets that we go to, we don't really have that DJ interaction. The most I've seen it is I Hate Models at Turn B, and literally all he shouted every like 10-15 minutes was Terminal V. So to have the DJs jump on, start chants with the crowds, I thought that was really fun. I thought that was something a bit different. I think Emily hit the nail on the head though when they first jumped on the mic. We got like loads of feedback from the speakers, which is a bit like fucking jarring, and they blew our ears out, but it felt like an adult entertainment night. I don't know, it was a bit mad, but I think it added to the atmosphere and the energy. I thought it was really cool. But moving on to the Strakers and the Maxi, the reason why I put these two together is because I felt like their sets were quite similar. That for me gave proper Gearbox. You know, it was very raw style, up tempo, few zag kicks and microwave kicks in there. And to be honest, I think that it didn't lose me a little bit, but I think it was during their sets where I realised actually, like I didn't hate it at all. Like I still thought it was a good set. I still had fun and enjoyed myself. But I think yeah, during some of the zag kicks and some of the raw style, that's where it lost me a little bit. Like I didn't know how to necessarily dance to it. There was no pattern to the kick rolls and stuff as well, so I felt like I couldn't follow along with them, and I was guessing a little bit. So yeah, but like I say, just because it's not fully my thing doesn't mean that it wasn't good. I think looking around the room, everyone still enjoyed themselves. So I'm not gonna mark them down for that. I still thought it was pretty fucking sick set. Then we had X-Bros. Now, X-Bros was another fucking unbelievable set. I think he would have been close after Webbo and Bomberjack for set of the night for me. I think his set was a little bit different. I think his was more on the techno and industrial side kicks. It was still really like hard styly, but I think yeah, the kicks it felt a little bit more techno and industrial. And I'm buzzing that I finally got to hear Dinosaur because yeah, the video I've got of that, some lass gets shot in the air, and it was fucking mental. Loved it. Then we had Kirsty closing. Now, before anyone fucking comes for me, I absolutely like love Kirsty. Still love Kirsty. I just don't think that was the best set of hers that I've seen, and I think that comes down to two things. First thing, that her being put on last, I think didn't work in her favour. I think she'd have been better off put on after Circo. So it would have gone Webbo, Circo, Kirsty, where she'd have played a full Gabba set, and then into Bomberjack, which would have been a little bit memey, going into hard style, up tempo, and then it gradually gets heavier, and have someone like X Bros close. I think that would have probably been the better option. Whereas with her being on last, she couldn't just play a full Gabba set. She had to almost match X Bros's level and get a lot heavy. Or it might have been Demaxi that was on just before her, but get a lot heavier and not play a usual set. I think that's why it didn't feel like a usual Kirsty set. We talked about it last night, so for anyone seeing her for the first time, that definitely wasn't her best. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't a shit set. She's still fucking unbelievable. But then the second reason as well, it felt like it felt like the speakers got turned down at the end for her set. It didn't feel as loud as any of the others, and that fucking threw me off as well. I think a lot of the crowd was lost a little bit at that point. So yeah, I think them two things didn't go in her favour. But yeah, like I say, I still love her and absolutely fucking no hate on Kirsty at all. Also, a big fucking shout out to the aircon for finally working and sorting itself out because at the start, when we first got there, it was absolute sweatbox. Like, we were dripping. I can't remember at what point it came on, but we were stood to the left by the tables, or the left of the stage where the tables are. And yeah, it finally started working. It was a lot cooler, and yeah, it was sound after that. Overall, though, I had a fucking mint time. Like I said, I had such a laugh. Crowd crowd was good. I don't think it's the best I've seen. I think there's definitely moments where the crowd got a little bit lost. I think during the Strakers they went missing a little bit at times, and then like I said, that Kirsty the last hour when the speakers were a little bit quieter. But yeah, I think other than that, and the music was probably a little bit outside of what I would normally go to and listen to, but I'd 100% do it again. I'd 100% go to another Gearbox event and give it a try. And yeah, like I said, that collab, I think it was really, really good. Really enjoyed myself. So I'd give it an 8 out of 10. But for anyone else that did go, let me know what you guys would rate out of 10. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. What was good, what was bad, who were your favourite sets. And I'll see you in the next one.